जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभा जय गिरिवर धारी जय गिरिवर धारी जय जय गिरिवर धारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभा जय गिरिवर धारी जय गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा बनचारी जमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya. Jai O Vishnupad Paramahansa's Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahansa's Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda Ki Jai. Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Jamna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samved Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Ki Jai, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Krishna Goswami Prabhupada Sahyadra Prakasya Vitasya Chapacharam Kritam Sadhu Bhagavata Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Chani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatharine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Continuing our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 61. We're going to read verses 10 to 12, which is combined. Yeah, so we will read, I'll read all three of them and then we can chant together the last one. Bhanu Subhanu Sarbhanu Prabhanur Bhanu Manstatha Chandra Bhanar Brihad Bhanur Ati Bhanus Tathastatma Shri Bhanu Pratibhanuscha Satya Bhamatmaja Dasa Samba Sumitra Purujika Chatajika Cha Sahasrajit Vishwasya Chitraketuscha Vasuman Dravidakratu Jambavatya Sutahite Sambadya Vitra Samatta Vijyas Chitraketuscha Vasumam Dravidakratu Jambavatya Sutahite Sambadya Pitra Samata Vyaya Chitraketuscha Vasumandra Vidakratut Jambavatya Sutahite Sambadya Pitra Samata Samvedya Pitra Samata Vyayaskyatra Ketuscha Vasumandra Vidakatu Ketuscha Sudahite Samvedya Pitra Samhita. Word for word meaning? Bhanu, Subhanu, Sarvabhanu. Bhanu, Subhanu and Sarvabhanu. Prabhana, Bhanu, Mana. Prabhanu and Bhanuman. Tatha also. Chatrabhanu, Brihadbhanu. Chatrabhanu and Brihadbhanu. Atibhanu. Atibhanu. Tatha also. Ashtama, the eighth. Shribhanu, Shribhanu. Pratibhanu, Pratibhanu. Cha and Satyabhama of Satyabhama. Atmaja, the sons. Dasa, 10. Sambha, Sumitra, Purijita, Satyajit, Cha, Sahasrajit. Sumitra, Purujit, Sambha, Sumitra, Purujit, Satyajit and Sahasrajit. Vijaya, Chitraketu. Vijaya and Chitraketu. Vasuman Dravida Karatu. Vasuman, Dravida and Kratu. Jambavatya of Jambavati. Sutta, sons. He, indeed. Ete, these. Shambha Adya, headed by Samba. Pitra, by their father. Samata, favored. Translation by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. The 10 sons of Satyabhama were Bhanu, Subhanu, Sarvabhanu, Prabhanu, Bhanuman, Chandrabhanu, Brihadbhanu, Atibhanu, the 8th, Shribhanu and Pratibhanu. Samba, Sumitra, Purujit, Satyajit, Sahasrajit, Vijaya, Chitraketu, Vasuman, Dravida and Kratu were the sons of Jambavati. These 10, headed by Samba, were their father's favorites. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami translates the compound Pitra Samata in this verse as highly regarded by their father. The word also indicates that these sons, like the others already mentioned, were regarded as being just like their glorious father, Lord Krishna. Om Jnana Trimandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Takshurandritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Bhutam Namayam Pradati Svapadantika Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubheva Chapatita Nampamebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. I'm not going to read the verse again. We're going to be repeating that throughout. So I'm going to go to some of the commentaries of Jiva Goswami and other of the Goswamis. Jiva Goswami says the 3 lines list Satyabhama's son. Atibhanu was elder to Sri Bhanu. The order is from elders to the youngest again. And though Jambavati was elder, Satyabhama's sons are mentioned first. Out of greater love for her and Satyabhama's excellent position, also going to add, because Jambavati's sons are younger, they were born later. In Jiva Goswami states, in the Samba Purana it is stated that by the arraignment of Narada, Samba tried to deceive the sages with the by the sages with the iron lump. This was the will of the Lord to teach common people, as was the consequent curse on the dynasty. Sanatana Goswami says the 8th son in particular singled out because he was more effulgent than Charudesna and others. Though Jambavati was elder, Satyabhama's sons were mentioned first because of her sons were born first and were elder. Or Satyabhama's love was superior. Ete indicates that Krishna had special affection for those sons. Thus Samba's offenses was nullified. Actually, his act was illusionary for teaching people. So there Goswami understanding that. Sorry. And scrolling over me. In the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada calls this chapter the genealogy of the family of Krishna. And in the Bhagavatam, the Prabhupada's disciples call it Lord Balaram slays Rukmi. So, but when you really read this chapter, you can see that in a lot of ways Prabhupada in Krishna book was the correct name in some ways, because yes, killing of Rukmi was important, but in this chapter a lot of it is dedicated to Krishna, his 16,108 wives, their sons, and to some of the extent to the grandsons and their further marriages and lineages. So it's almost like the genealogy of the family of Krishna. So Prabhupada in Krishna book talks about all of the sons, then by names, just the way it's written in the last, like from the 8th verse. So from Rukmini's sons, and then Satyabhama's sons, Jambavati's sons, and then further other wives' sons that we are going to be reading, other queens' sons. We're going to be reading about those in the next few verses. And then he describes the grandsons also. So in here, Sukdev Goswami describes first the sons of Satyabhama. And then he talks about the sons of Jambavati. In the previous verse, when he describes the son of Rukmini, he says that he calls them Hari, which is one who attracts. And all of the sons of Rukmini have Charu in their name, which means beautiful, which is synonymous to Hari, one who attracts. And here, Satyabhama's sons all have Bhanu in their names, which is the sun. Bhanu is the sun, which means brilliant, effulgent. And in Rupa Goswami, in Lalita Madhava, he talks about why Satyabhama's sons are synonymous with sun. Of course, they're brilliant and effulgent. But Rupa Goswami talks about the fact that after Krishna left Dwarka, he talks about in Lalita Madhava, the gopis were so full of grief. And Radharani was very serious condition. She did not like to live like that. And it is described that Vishakha and Radharani, they held hand and entered into Yamuna River to give up their lives. But Yamuna Devi is part of their Leela, and she didn't allow Radharani to, well, they said, leave her body at this point. Yamuna Devi, at the instructions of Krishna, handed over Radharani to her father, Yamuna Devi's father, who is also Vishakha's father. That's sun god. And Radharani had been a worshipper of sun god throughout her life also. So, as instructed by Krishna, Suryadev handed over Radharani along with her Samanta Kajwal to the Lord's devotee by the name of Satyajit, who had no child. And Satyajit accepted Radharani as his daughter and called her Satyabhama. So, as for the Lord's arrangement, Satyajit gave Satyabhama to Krishna in marriage in the Dwarka Leela, along with the Samanta Kajwal, and Krishna and Radharani are united again as in Satyabhama and Krishna. And when Krishna left the planet, Radharani left the planet, or Satyabhama form of Radharani left the planet. And then, because of that Surya connection, sun connection, all of Satyabhama's sons have names like Bhanu, Subhanu, Sarbhanu, Prabhanu, Bhanuman, Chandrabhanu, Bhadrabhanu, Atibhanu, Sribhanu, and Pratibhanu. And in describing the next set of sons, which is Chambavati's son, Sukadeva Goswami uses the phrase Pitra Samata. They were favored by their Lord. Of course, he loved all his 16,108 times 10 sons, and one daughter from each of of Krishna's wives. But he had a special affection for Jambavati's sons. And of course, it was totally reciprocated by the children, by the boys, by the children. And Krishna didn't really care that they were crawling around in the dirt or dirty, or he would just pick them up and play with them, and was not too concerned about the mess. And we can relate to that even when our babies or grandbabies, for that matter, I've just had the grandbabies, so I know even when they're messy, dirty, face full with food, you still feel a great affection for them. And Krishna played that part, of course, better than anybody else. So, and these sons of Jambavati, when Krishna would go away, they would really miss him very much. There's some descriptions of, I haven't read it, but I've heard from senior disciples of Prabhupada that they didn't want to, they would talk about the fact that they didn't want to do any of the things that they would regularly do, which is their Kshatriya practice or play ball or any of them. They said that without Krishna in Dwarka felt like a prison. And the Acharyas describe that feeling that Krishna's sons had for him as the Gaurava Priti Rasa. So, which is their mood of love and affection for their father. It is described as the form of devotional emotion in a servant mood, in a servitude mood, combined with reverence and affection. But it's combined with the feeling towards father. There's a word for Vatsalyaras, but for a father, it is this Gaurava Priti Rasa. And this is the first time I kind of came across this. I don't know if you've all come across this word or this phrase. And it basically captures the emotion, the essence of the emotional connection that a devotee feels towards Krishna. It's characterized by the joy of seeing and associating with Krishna, and by the respect. So it's joyful and it's respectful, with a deep respect. And in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, it is described as a term that encompasses the sentiment of reverence and joy associated with Krishna, denoting the emotional connection felt towards him. It says another form of devotional emotion characterized by reverence and affection. The essence or flavor of the affection for Krishna when nourished by vibhava and other elements. So Gaurava comes from Guru. It's similar to the reverence for Guru, who is an ocean of mercy. He's a protector. And we bow down before him in awe and reverence, but have immense love for him. And we're willing to do anything for our Guru. anything the Guru asks us to do, or even when we reach a stage of ultimate Guru Nishtha, we can know what the Guru wants without the Guru telling us, and we act on that. So that is the Gaurav Preeti Riti. So these boys were always emulating Krishna, following his example. And when Krishna would go to the Sandharma, the assembly of devotees, he would go every day to the assembly, and they would watch Krishna on how he behaved with the elder Rishnis, how he behaved with his contemporaries, how he reacted to humorous topics. Krishna would just gently smile. And so they behaved with elders the same as Krishna did. They behaved with their friends in a similar manner. And they learned from Krishna. And when there was anything confidential, they would back off, sorry. No, that's right. They would back off and try not to listen to. And they were, in their lifetime, they were interested in all of Krishna's stories of valor and strength and bravery, but they were not interested in Krishna's confidential pastimes at all. So that's where this whole Gaurav Preeti Rasa comes in. You know, like they had affection, they had love, they had reverence, they were not into his conjugal pastimes. And that's the feeling that Rupa Goswami describes for the devotees of Krishna should be having. And it kind of comes around. It's just like Prabhupada always tells us, we don't need to be so interested in the conjugal pastimes of Krishna. We just need to serve him with love and devotion. Follow the path that Prabhupada has outlined for us. Nowhere has Prabhupada advocated for us to follow the path of the rasa, or the madhura rasa in that way. He's told us about it. And he is very clear that as we develop, as we get better at our service, at our love, as our devotion, as we go up in our steps towards bhakti, we will understand everything. But while we are at this stage of learning, there is no need to jump and try to get there. And it's kind of funny. The more I read or learn more from Prabhupada, the less I am really interested in getting into all the details of his relationship with Radharani or anything. It's just a sideline that came to my mind, some realization that came. In the descriptions of various, or in the details of various boys, sons of Krishna, there are 5 of them who are more well known than others. And those are also described in some of the history of India. And those are the 5 that we've already read about Pradyumna, and we're going to read more about him. And there is Aniruddha that we're going to read about. I'm sorry, not 5, 3 are more that we're going to read about in the next part of this chapter. Aniruddha, and then Samba. He's described especially in his pastimes related to the destruction of the dynasty and his marriage to Lakshman, who is daughter of Duryodhana, who he kidnaps, and how there is a reconciliation by that marriage between the 2 parts of that dynasty, like Kurus and the Pandavas, Kauravas and the Pandavas. So in these verses, Samba is the one who is described, who is talked about, which is Jambavati's son. And Samba is a synthesis of Sa Amba. Sa Amba is favored by mother. Amba is mother and Sa is so favored by mother. And so he's very favored by mother. And of course he's, we talked earlier, he's very dear. He and other sons of Jambavati, they're very dear to Krishna. And history tells us that Krishna is very attached to Samba because he actually prayed for his birth and had wanted him to be like Lord Shiva, because Krishna knew that Samba was going to be the destruction of the dynasty. So he wanted those qualities of destruction in Samba. And this story is not narrated in the Bhagavatam, but it's narrated in Mahabharata. And it is said that Jambavati didn't have a child for a long time, while others less. I mean, she's number 2 wife. She was married second, after Rukmini, Jambavati was Krishna's wife. And even though his second wife, she didn't have any children, while other wives had several children. So she was very unhappy, and she asked Krishna for a handsome child. And Krishna wanted a son like Lord Shiva, so that he could be qualified Samba could be qualified to actually have the destruction of that, part of the destruction of the dynasty. So Krishna went to the Himalayas to sage Upamanyu and asked for advice. And sage Upamanyu advised him to worship Lord Shiva. And he performed penances for 6 months, standing on one leg, then 1 month of only water, then 3rd month for just on his toes. So severe austerities, and Lord Shiva finally appeared before him in a form known as Samba, which Ardhnarishwara, it's half man and half woman form, half female, shouldn't say man, half female, half male form. And that is the Shiva and Shakti form. And asked him for a boom. So Krishna asked him for a boom for a son like him. And that's why when Samba was born, his name was after this form of Lord Shiva, which is Samba form. Samba was the name of Lord Shiva, Samba. So there might be a lot of reasons that Samba was very dear to Krishna, but he was favored by his mother because of being very difficult to get, but to Krishna because he was a benediction from Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is very dear to Krishna, and Samba is also dear to Krishna. So there's a lot more that I could talk about, but we have only a few minutes left. These are all pastimes of Krishna, and all of the demigods were invited by Krishna. We know, we learned about that in Bhagavatam, that they were invited by Krishna to participate in these leelas. And a lot of Krishna's children are demigods. And it is said that, we know that there is always these, prakrit and aprakrit leelas of Krishna, the visible and not so visible, confidential leelas. They're all there all the time. At any given time, there's various leelas everywhere. And one of the reasons they are there is because ultimately our goal, and Prabhupada has said that to us, that he will fulfill that goal eventually, is to be in Krishna's Nitya Leela, or Krishna's Leela in Goloka Vrindavan. But in order to qualify to get there, we start our training here, and as we progress, we go into Krishna's various leelas that are going on at all the times. So we don't go from, or most of us don't go directly from here to Krishna's leelas in Goloka Vrindavan. Most of us get somewhat trained, qualified to get to the next step of another part of Krishna's leela. So we could participate in any of his leelas in any of the times and get trained to serve Krishna and Radharani in various ways. Ultimately, discover our Swarup and get to Golok Vrindavan. In the meantime, we just need to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly as instructed by the Acharyas. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Radha Goloka Nanda ki jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol.
Go Vietnam. Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalayatasham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adipurusham
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Tavruni Mandala Mahite Gokula Tavruni Mandala Mahite Damodararati Vadana Veshe Hari Niskuta Vrinda Vipineshe Damodararati Vadana Veshe Hari Niskuta Vrinda Vipineshe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Rishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishake. Rishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Sakhi Guna Ramita Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Sri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. O Radha, all glories unto you, all glories unto you, beloved of Madhava, object of worship for all the young girls of Gokula. You dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you. You are the controller of Vrindavan, the pleasure groves of Lord Hari. You are a new moon arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu. You are the friend of Lalita, and your wonderful qualities, friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna, endear you to Vishaka. You are an ocean of compassion, and your divine characteristics are described by the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sananda, and Sanat Kumara. O Radha, please be merciful to me.
Quick announcement about Harinam, because tomorrow is going to be a gray, cold day. We're going to switch it to Sunday here in Hillsborough at noon, from noon to 1:30. So please join us for Harinam Sankirtan on Sunday morning when it's going to be nice day, sunny and in the 60s. So we'll move the Harinam away from Saturday. It was going to be tomorrow, but we're going to have it on Sunday now, and I'll send out an announcement. Haribo. Chaitodarbana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam shreyakairav yatam. Nice, bright, beautiful outfit for a gray day. Pranam rita swadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrapita niyamita smarane nakala etadrishi tabakripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva midrishami hajjanina nuraga trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishuna Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadishakamaye mama janmani janmani ishvare bhavatad bhakti rohitaki twayi vainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budao kribayata vabada pankaja stita durli sadrashim vachintaya Nayanam Gadadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gurudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tava namagrahane bhavishyati yugayatam namishena chakshusha bravashayatam shunayatam jagat sarvam govindam virahena me ashlisha vapadam radam astumam adarshanam marmato karotuva yatatatava vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu sadeva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, there are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy names? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world.